So I actually gave Helk and Alistair like just my general thoughts on staging. Basically, I said that every tier 2 gun feels really good when versing other tier 2 guns. If you're versing like AK, there's a huge disparity, but I think AK is like the best weapon in the game that's craftable. So you should be able to like kind of dominate other tier 2s. It feels really fun and good to use AK right now. So I think that's fine. But I said HMLMG and M249 is way too broken. Because you can still put an 8x on them. And the fact that you can use 8x on the M2, well, HMLMG is nerfed now, so that's irrelevant. But M249, you can put an 8x on them. You can standing spray. Like, let's say, like, I'm standing right now. Like, I can just use it like old AK, basically, and it's so accurate. Even without the silencer. Like, I'm standing, so I can just, like, peek a little bit. And it's basically the best weapon for like 20 meters to all the way up to like 350 meters. Because if you put an 8x on this thing with a silencer, no one's going to see where you're getting shot from. And they can just laser you. So M249 is not only the same, but it's kind of buffed because you can standing spray them. And I feel like when every other gun, their effective range has been reduced so much and nerfed, I feel like M249 doesn't have a good role in the game, because when I fought yesterday, if you fight an M249, even with an AK, you just get shredded. Like, there's no competition. You cannot kill an M249, even with an AK. Maybe if you had Bolt and you were like 300 meters away, maybe you can like keep pop shots at the M249, but it's not like you can kill the M249 just with bolts. Unless you double headshot him, or two people double headshot him at the same time. So I was kind of addressing my concerns about like M249 being too broken. I feel like you shouldn't be able to put an 8x on an LMG, because an LMG in any other game is not supposed to be an automatic 100 bullet, super accurate, super easy sniper rifle that you can just spray. So I think if they only made it so that you can put hollow on this thing, it's still going to be really good. You can standing spray, you can be close range, you can be medium range. You can even shoot people maybe up to like 150, 200 meters, but it's just not going to be the powerhouse it is right now, where you can shoot people from 350 meters. So that's what I addressed. I also said silencers need to be nerfed 100%. I think silencers was already super strong just because it is the best stealth attachment to use. The damage drop off isn't too much. It's 25%, but it's actually not a lot because no one's going to know where you're shooting from. And you're not going to hear any silencers even up to like 30 meters. I think like past 30 meters, I don't think you can hear like anything. You just hear you getting shot at, but you don't know where from. So it's completely silent to everyone if it's past 30 meters. Velocity doesn't really matter either, but it also gives accuracy and minus 20 recoil. So silencers are the best attachment to use right now, along with the laser, because that's just going to give you like, what is that, 70% accuracy. I mean, let's say I just use this, which costs 3 high qual and 1 tech trash, and silencer is like 8 high qual, I think. Or, oh no, I think it was 5. So 5 high qual for the most OP attachment. It just makes any gun like a super laser beam, and no one can hear where you're shooting from. Like, I could do this in the oil recoil. And it's not like SMGs can compete with like AK silencer from 150 meters. Like if I try to shoot like a Thompson, for example, even with a laser and maybe this, like the aim cone is so bad, you just can't compete. Like, no, it doesn't matter if you're Shroud, it doesn't matter if you're Tens. You could be the best aimer in the world and it still doesn't matter. Like, you're not gonna kill an AK with an SMG, which is fine, because I think SMGs should be like close range. Like if you have a custom, for example, it's just gonna shred through AK guys. Like it's so good from close range to like medium range, right? Even from this range, it's not bad. So SMGs have their place, but I feel like silencer being on M249, being on assault rifle, being on the L96, for example, like it's just going to be so strong. So I suggested that it should be, the effective range of it should be much higher or much lower. Right now, past 30 meters, you can't hear it at all. But you should be able to hear it maybe past like 80 meters or like 100 meters. Like if someone's shooting at you, you should be able to kind of tell. Like whoever's getting shot at should be able to tell, unless that guy is like shooting at you from a roof like super far away. The silencer, I feel like, should be used to protect yourself from third parties, not to protect yourself from the person that's you're shooting at. Right now, it just protects you from anything, like, cause no one can hear it unless they're like 20 meters. Like maybe a grub with a DB will hear you and kill you, but silencer just makes it so safe for the people using it and so annoying for the people that's getting like abused by it. So I feel like it should be. I also just suggested that it shouldn't give accuracy, it shouldn't give recoil, because that doesn't make any sense. A silencer is giving you minus recoil and more accuracy on the gun. Like that makes no sense. So I suggested they get rid of the buffs, or the positive side of it, the accuracy and recoil, and also make it so that you can hear the silencer from like 80 to 100 meters probably. Also, I think there is, these are the only 4 scopes in the game. I think we're long overdue for something different. Hall sight is not that relevant anymore because it's not 70% accuracy anymore, it's 10%. And hall sight isn't the best sight, let's be honest. Simple handmade sight, terrible. Maybe on some weapons, but it's 6 HQM to make, and this hall sight is 12 HQM. If you compare that to a P2, this insanely good weapon costs 4 high qual, and the attachment for me to use costs 6. Holo sight, 3 times the amount of a P2. I don't think it makes sense. I said that the HQM cost of sights should be a lot smaller. I didn't mention the 8X because I feel like if this is super easy to make, I feel like most people will roof camp with them. But definitely holo sights, simple handmade sights, needs to be buffed in a way you can craft them a lot easier without using so much high qual. And I feel like they should add more. That's what I said. I also said that I thought that the recoil was a little bit too easy. And that's just... It's great that casual players can, you know, pick it up really easily, but it just takes like an hour maybe to get the recoil down. And it feels really bad with the aim cone. I hate aim cone in every game. And I understand that aim cone makes it so that you can't beam from far away. But it just makes it really bad if you are a person that really cares about like aiming. Like let's say like I aim, like the SAR for example has been really bad for me. I aim at their head and I start like spraying a little bit and I'm on their head. Like I can see that I'm on their head, but it just doesn't hit. So I have to like wait that long for it to hit, you know? So the aim cone, even on like semi-auto weapons, feel really bad right now. I feel like they should just make the recoil a little bit more intense, a little bit hard to control, but reduce the aim cone like just slightly so that it feels more rewarding to have better aim, not just to spray and pray, you know? So that was my opinion on that. Also, I think it was Chap. He had a really interesting idea. He said that if you die next to your bag, it should go on cooldown. And I think that's a really interesting idea. There's a lot of things that you need to worry about for balancing, but I think that will help with a grub meta and like the issue of lives not mattering. Like deaths don't matter in Rust because you die, okay, my teammates will hold, I'm gonna spawn right on my body. Because you press this, it says on the map where your bags are. It's so easy to just be like, okay, my death marker's here, my bag is right here, I'm gonna spawn, I'm gonna loot my body. So people just come back right away. I feel like that just creates scenarios where it just feels really bad. Like you just wipe a group and then they're all back already. Other than that, I feel like there could be a problem. Because if your base is right here, you get door camped. Now you don't have a way of spawning inside your base. Maybe within TC radius, you can spawn in. Something like that. That could be a potential fix. Yeah, that's an interesting change that they can do. I also re-advocated my passion for pump slugs. right now, pump slugs are in a really weird spot. If you use... Wait, am I lagged? Maybe the server went down. But pump slugs... Oh, server went down. But slugs are dead, basically, yes. Because slugs... It's supposed to be the long-range version of the bullets for you to use with pumps, right? Because pumps are like shotguns that you use short range. But pumps are really deadly in real life from long range. But it's not deadly in Rust. Because there's a damage drop-off of like almost, I don't know, like it feels like 80%. If you pump slug someone in the face that has a hazmat on, it kills them within like 20 meters. As soon as that becomes like 40 meters, 60 meters, you headshot someone with a hazmat, it does like 25 damage or something. So it's just very unrewarding to use the pump slug right now. And I think it could be really good because right now is a meta where you can't really beam people from like 200 meters away. So having like a long range alternative to bolts and L96s. Bolts are tier 3, most people won't have access to them. L96 is even gated behind a even tougher mechanic. You can only get them from, I think, elite crates, Bradley crates, heli crates, or I think locked crates. So having pump slugs, which is tier 2, that would introduce a different weapon that people can use. It was just really fun to use the pump slug. That was my little spiel to Alistair and Helk. He actually replied and gave me like feedback on my feedback, so that's great. And he said that I can share them, so I'll share with you guys. Right. Too big. HMLMG just received a change, which will overall nerf the weapon. So we just looked at that. M249, this is planned to be changed and overall be nerfed. Thank God, to be honest. I feel like M249 is just the master of every element, every strength with weapons is just all combined into one to have one gun just be the best gun in everything. M249 is the best sniper rifle, the best and easiest to use, the most damage, the best in like 20 meters, the best in 350 meters. Like, it's just too good. So I think if they really want M249 to be an LMG, like, they need to make it its own characteristic and nerf it. So I think that's great. Silencer is currently being looked at, but no decision either way. That's good. At least we know that they're looking at it. Reworking attachments. Currently not planned because they want to see how the meta forms. Crotch meta under review, but obviously it's releasing in like 2 days. They can't really, you know, do such a big change. So that's good. But they do know that maybe it's kind of stale to have crotch meta. And the sleeping bags, no plans to change this, but yeah, they know how annoying it is. And pump slugs, something we can look at for sure, please. That'd be great. Also, I slept 12 hours today, so I feel good. But yeah, that's that was my feedback after playing like 3 days on staging. Yeah, so it's very inaccurate now, and it's craftable. I don't know how to feel about this yet. We'll see. So the HMLMG just got changed today. It changed from being a second M249 to something that is heavily nerfed. Basically, when you shoot the gun, the first like 6 bullets is super inaccurate. So even if I like try to like one tap someone here, I'm right on their head and it's not headshotting them. So they're really making this an LMG gun where you kind of have to like keep spraying in order for it to hit. I'm kind of conflicted about this because I feel like it kind of makes it useless, but at the same time, if they're adding another LMG, I don't want it to be another M249 because I think M249 is way too OP in this current meta. And it's also craftable, so it's going to be 30 high quality metal, 1 rifle body, 2 metal springs, and 3 gears. I don't know, like what scenario would we use this gun? The only thing I can think is like, okay, I'm like full heavy armor. I'm just using crosshair. And I'm just like a fucking Rambo. But still, it's kind of bad. Like maybe I had a full heavy, maybe. Like that, maybe. I think this is the move. Dude, I can see people doing this on an oil rig, like full heavy armor. And they would just like stay on top of the ball or something.